What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Empire YouTube channel. Today we're taking a look at a very unique deck that did well in the recent Japan tournament with 151 legal. This is going to be Charizard EX being paired with Gallade with Buddy Catch. So if you guys don't know what Gallade does, Buddy Catch, once during your turn you can search your deck for a supporter, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. We're not really going to use it for Swirling Slice, but it does do 160 and you can move an energy. But due to the nature of the energy we're playing, we're never going to use it. It's mainly in here for Buddy Catch, and along with that, we do have the Curlia engine, just so that way we can discard, draw cards, and get rid of some, cards that we might not want anymore. Charizard EX, if you guys aren't sure by now, has the Infernal Rain, where when you evolve into it, you can search your deck for 3 basic fire energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, and then Burning Darkness does 180, plus 30 for each prize card your opponent's taken. So the premise behind this deck is to take the aspects in which Charizard usually struggles at setting up, and it just adds more consistency. So with Gallade, you can use Buddy Catch to search out your supporters. We are playing 4 Iono, 2 Research, and then we are also playing 2 Boss's Orders, as well as 1 Palpad. So Buddy Catch allowing you to search for any supporter means that you have access to basically anything that you want. Aside from that, we're just going for pure consistency. We have 4 Battle VIP passes. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Level Ball, 4 Rare Candy, and also within this deck we are playing Mew. Mew is great as it allows you to pivot with Mysterious Tail. You can look at the top 6 of your deck and grab an item, which means you can grab things like Ultra Ball, Rare Candy, just helps to thin, and then Jet Energy allows you to kind of the idea behind using Jet Energy on Comfey in order to, get 2 Comfeys off and still have a retreat. This Jet Energy means that you can get 2 Mews off and still have a way to retreat, so it's super solid. So as always, the deck list will be posted right now, so that way you guys have a full clean view of it. And if you guys are interested in playing the deck, it will be in the description for you guys to copy and paste into Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. Now keep in mind that this deck is on the more fun side than it is the super aggro competitive side. Normal Charizard is probably going to be better with Pidgeot, but if you want to experiment with things or have consistency issues, definitely give this one a try. But with that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's video, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. If you are interested in a hoodie, let me know down below, and if enough of you are, I will get them started so you guys can order them. But with that being said, thank you for everything, and I'll catch you guys in the gameplay. Later. Alrighty guys, into the very first game with Charizard Gallade. Hopefully we can set up as consistently as we want to. Can get the boss's orders to take big knockouts. Can just do everything that, Charizard wants to do. So my opponent does win the coin flip here, which means we are going to be able to use a supporter for turn. So we might be able to gauge our setup a little bit better. But we'll see how it starts. And thankfully we didn't actually have a basic in that hand. We do mulligan twice. So our opponent getting some good information there. We do have access to Ralts. We have Curlia, Gallade. We also have Level Ball. No supporter though, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's definitely not as bad as it could be. We'll most likely just Level Ball for something like a Mew. Hopefully hit Battle VIP Pass, and then we can grab something along the lines of maybe another Mew. We'll have to see. My opponent going Battle VIP Pass here, so they are getting Varoom and Bidoof. So it seems like they're playing a Revaroom style deck. So definitely not the worst. And my opponent going for the concealed cards, getting rid of the Metal Energy. So let's see exactly what we can do. So we do top deck a Fire Energy, not going to be too needed. So we do have a Charmander prized. And then we do have all of the Ralts in the deck. We have the Mew. No Charizard's prized. We have no Gallade prized. We have, I believe, an Iono prized. We have an Ultra Ball in hand. Vip is in there, 2 Rods. So it's mainly just the energy and nothing else that's super important. So we can use the Mew here. We can go for the Mysterious Tail, allowing us to look at the top 6, and unfortunately we don't hit a Battle VIP Pass. What we're going to have to do here is go Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, we can get rid of the Gallade because we're not going to need it just yet. And then we can get rid of the Fire. And then we'll grab another Mew, hopefully just hitting a Battle VIP pass. That way we can continue the setup. And off of the Mysterious Tail we get, unfortunately we don't hit anything. So we are going to be a turn behind, but considering what my opponent is playing, I think we should be okay. We do have access to Curlia next turn, and we have access to Mew. So it's definitely not the worst. And if we have to, we can pivot the Mew, just let it get KO'd to set up the math for Charizard. So it's definitely not as bad as it could be. We do have access to some draw next turn. Unfortunately, though, our Battle VIP passes will be unusable come the next turn. So my opponent going into the barrel, there's the Squovit, there's a Metal Energy, there's the Ionos. My opponent giving us fresh cards to look at, which I'm completely fine with. Our hand was a little bit dead. And looking at this, this is even better. We have access to a Hisuian Heavy Ball. We know that we have Charmander in the prizes, so we can get one off of there. Then we also have Ralts. Someone is trying to talk right now. And we also can level ball for another Curlia, so not looking too bad as far as the setup. And we do have access to Mysterious Tail, so we'll be able to kind of do whatever it is we need to do. My opponent is playing the Reverum, so I don't think that there's too much that they are going to be able to do. And there's the Ultra Ball, so probably going to be able to grab them the Reverum. They discard a Gita as well as a Varoom. And because this client is a little bit off, alright. So my opponent going into the Reverum. We get another Ralts. So the first thing we'll do is Hisuian Heavy Ball. And our prizes aren't too bad. We do have 2 Curlia prized, which can be a little bit unfortunate, but it's definitely not the end of the world. So we can bench the Charmander. We can go Mysterious Tail. Mysterious Tail can grab us the... we'll grab the Ultra Ball. Just because that means that... Oh, actually, I should have grabbed Rare Candy. I was thinking I didn't have Charizard in hand, but it's right here. Okay, so that's fine. So what we'll do here is we'll just go for the level ball. We'll level ball for the Curlia. So we can bench the Curlia. I'm fairly certain that we'll get another Rare Candy. So we can go here. We can Jet Energy the Mew. Just to have a pivoting option. We can bench a Ralts. We can use that Mysterious Tail. And we do hit a Rare Candy, so we are set up for next turn to start attacking. And I think what I'm going to do here, considering we do have access to the Ultra Ball, I'm going to go and get rid of a Ralts and the Charizard just to grab ourselves another Charmander, because this does mean that my opponent can't do something like Boss KO. And then next turn we have access to Rare Candy Charizard. We have a way to retreat with Mew. We have a way to attack, to power up, and things are looking pretty okay now. So there's the Vengeful Punch going on to my opponent's Reverum. So they can actually stack up a ton of damage. So it's going to be a little bit unfortunate and awkward because they do play, you know, Vengeful Punch, Rigid Band. They could put another Vengeful Punch and another Rigid Band. So we just have to be wary of that. And there is another Rigid Band going on to the Reverum, and there is the Escape Ropes. My opponent is going to take a KO here, so we'll give them a prize with Mew. Thankfully, though, my opponent can't one-shot us, and we'll be hitting 210, minus 30, minus 30. So this means that we're going to be doing minus 60, so we'll be hitting 150, and if my opponent gets another band, then we are in a rough spot. Oh, and they actually do have the second Rigid Band, so we are going to be only hitting for a little bit of damage, which is going to be super awkward, but it's not the end of the world. We can actually pivot and potentially KO this River so I'm okay with that. We top deck a Ralt, not too much here. I think what we'll do is we'll just go Rare Candy into the Charizard. And this will allow us to use the Infernal Flame and grab the 3 fire. We can put 2 and then 1. And then we can use the Curlia. Again, just hopefully finding an Ultra Ball or something. And we actually get Iono. Iono's not going to be too useful, so we use the Mysterious Tail. And we do get Ultra Ball, which means we can get Gallade, which means that we can hold this Reverum in the active for the time being while we set up the rest of our board. So we can go Ultra Ball, get rid of these 2. I should have kept the Lost Vacuum, but that's okay. We should still be able to manage off of it. So what we'll do here is we'll use Buddy Catch. Buddy Catch will allow us to grab the boss's orders, which means now we can go boss's orders on to let's see. I could go Barrel and then take away my opponent's consistency, and then they come up and hit for 170. I think I am going to go for the Barrel because it's going to be super awkward trying to deal with this Reverum. So what we'll do is retreat, and then this means that next turn we have the ability to kind of hit some more. And if my opponent uses something like Escape Rope for whatever reason, then we can pivot into another 1-prizer, which means that we have more damage output. So this Reverum, though, is going to be very tricky to deal with. So there's another Rigid Band going on to the Reverum. There is Arven. Arven going to be able to grab a tool and a trainer card. So grabbing Energy Search. Energy Search means that my opponent can grab a medal, and they can attach or use concealed cards, and they choose to use concealed cards. And there's the Nest Stash into 1. And there's the Wild Drift for 170. So I can actually attack this Reverum, but I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm only going to be doing 90. But if my opponent takes a knockout here, we should be in an okay spot. So the first thing we'll do is use the Hisuian Heavy Ball, which is ironic that that's what we pulled off of the prizes. We can go Artisan. Artisan will allow us to thin the deck. And thankfully, the fact that my opponent is at 5 means that they have to kind of go the EX route, which I don't mind. So we'll go Ultra Ball. And we actually hit Super Rod, which is fantastic. So this means that we could Ultra Ball and actually put up a brand new Charizard. But the brand new Charizard is only going to do 90 as well, which doesn't seem, that clean. We'll save the Super Rod. That way we can Super Rod back in the Charizard. And then next turn, Rare Candy. And then we have the energy to accelerate. So what we'll do is attach here. We're just going to use the Burning Darkness for 90. And then after that, there's not too much that we're going to have the ability to do. We've gotten rid of not too much, so my opponent benching another Bidoof, so we can actually take 1 prize off the Bidoof to put us at 4 and then deal with the prizes here. The other thing we could do is actually use the Reverum in order to take a knockout. We'll have to figure this out. So my opponent is going for boss's orders. So they are going for the Charmander. I'm completely fine with that. It shuffles the energy back. And although my opponent can take 2 prizes into 2 prizes, this just means that the Charizard is powered up. So I don't hate the fact that this is the way things are going. So The first thing we'll do is use Super Rod. We'll put back the Charizard, and we'll put back the energy. I know that there's a Charizard EX still in deck, so I'm thinking we put back 3 fire. Let's see. So there's 1 Charizard, 2 Charizards. Yeah, we'll put the 3 back, and then what we can do is Ultra Ball. Get rid of the battle VIP passes. We can grab the Charizard. We can use Artisan just to check. And there is a mana fee, so we can't actually get the mana fee too thin. And then what we can do is Rare Candy the Charizard out. Use the Infernal Flame, allowing us to grab 3 energy, which means we can go 1 here, 1 here. And I guess we'll put 1 on Mew, just so that way it is a pivoting option. And then we can hit for 120. And thankfully next turn, my opponent has to attach here. The EXP share will be fortunate to help my opponent, but if they are a turn behind, then we're in a good spot. My opponent's going to take 2 prizes here, which puts us at the threshold to actually KO a Reverum that has no damage on it. Or, I'm sorry, that has no rigid bands on it. So, my opponent going Nest Dash. There's the Wild Drift for 170. So, with no attachment, my opponent can't set up another Reverum in a single turn, which means now we can go into the Charizard. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do. I can give my opponent a couple less cards, which I don't hate. We still have access to Palpad, I believe. We'll use Artisan just to gain some deck knowledge. So we still have access to Palpad. We do have access to Boss, so Iono actually wouldn't be too bad here. So we'll use the Iono just to draw through our deck. And our game plan now is to just go knockout, knockout, and then take a knockout on a 1-prizer. So we'll use the Burning Darkness, 180. And unfortunately, we do take 40 damage, but by the time my opponent, sets up how they want to, there's not too much that they're going to be able to do. So we take 2. And we are hitting for 3, 6, 9, 12, 300 damage. So, providing that my opponent doesn't attach something like a rigid band, which I don't think they will. They've already used 3. We should be okay. This game looking a little bit dicey, but at the end of the day, with the consistency aspects and us being able to, buy ourselves 1 turn and do some damage, my opponent using that boss is really what got them in the end, so. There's the Nest Dash 4-1. And what we can do next turn is use Gallade, take a knockout here. We can use the Buddy Catch, grab us the boss's orders. We can use the boss's orders, and then we can shuffle back in with Palpad. Go boss's orders, and my opponent concedes there. So, kind of a rough start with all things missing the VIP, not getting a Charmander down until the 2nd turn, but in the end we were able to pull it off. So that was game number 1. Let's hop right into a game number 2, see if we can do the same exact thing. Alrighty guys, into game number 2. Let's see if we can set up Charizard how we want to, and hopefully open a Battle VIP pass, as we are going first. Means that we don't have access to a supporter, but we do have access to Evos, and that would have been a great hand if we had the ability to actually set up. And looking at this hand is atrocious. So my opponent playing some form of water deck, hopefully not Qianpao. Qianpao would probably be our worst matchup. But we can boss Baxcalibur, but it's going to be an uphill battle in the sense. We're going to put a lot of work into setting up Charizard, and it's going to be just more awkward from there. So my opponent's starting with 2, and they get Cryogonal and Kyogre, so they most likely are playing Kyurem VMAX, which is scary. So I need to Mysterious Tail. Mysterious Tail can grab Level Ball, And in order to continue the setup, they're either playing Cryogonal or they're just playing straight Kyogre. If they're playing straight Kyogre, Manaphy should clutch it out. But we'll grab Mew. Jet Energy. Mysterious Tail again. Getting us a Hisuian Heavy Ball so we can see what's prized at least. And wow, that's quite a bit of cards that we might actually want that are prized. But we're going to go Charmander. And we're just going to have to hope that there's nothing that my opponent can really do next turn. Hopefully Iono saves us. My opponent can use the Element Chain to look at the top 6 cards of their deck. Attach any energy they find there. So here is the Element Chain. And they are going to be able to attach to the Kyogre to set up Aqua Storm. And we've known from the past that Aqua Storm can be a problem. So we get Rare Candy. Again, not going to do too much for us. What we'll do here is Iono, see a few more cards, and then dig deeper with Mew. Hopefully hitting Level Ball or Artisan. That works too. So we can go Artisan. We'll use the Mysterious Tail. We hit 3 Battle VIP passes. That's insane. So what we can do is Artisan. Artisan will allow us to grab the Manaphy, which means my opponent can no longer hit our bench. And I think from here, we'll retreat into the Mew because there is a chance that we could hit a Rare Candy here. And we actually do, which is perfect. So now we can Rare Candy the Zard and start to set up how we would like to. So we'll use the Infernal Rain and we can grab 3. Meaning that if this Mew doesn't get knocked out, we can put 1 here, 1 here, 1 on this Charizard. And from there, just pass. Thankfully, Kyogre can't hit Charizard EX due to its Terra ability. My opponent using Irida, grabbing a Kyogre and a Nest Ball. And Kyogre only hits bench Pokemon, so thankfully Charizard will be able to just kind of clean up the rest of this game. With having Charizard and Manaphy down, there's not too much my opponent's going to be able to do. And it's just going to be super easy for us from there. So my opponent getting Manaphy down. Manaphy not going to do much for them. There's a Water Energy onto that Kyogre. Element Chain once more. Which means now we are free to start setting up how we would like to. There's nothing that I need to super rod. So I think what we're going to do is just research this hand away. We do have access to Iono, but we're not going to need it. I could have gotten full value off of retreating the Mew, but all is well. So we'll evolve into the Charmeleon. We can bench the Ralt. Hard retreat into the Charizard, and then we can hit for 180. And due to Manaphy and Charizard, we should be able to clean up this game. It's just going to be 6 turns of attacking. So, like always, we get the Hisuian Heavy Ball. And somebody did come to say hi. She is always trying to see what's going on the screen. So my opponent going for Irida. Grabbing Escape Rope. Escape Rope is going to be fine. We'll just Escape Rope into probably the Mew. So there's the Escape Rope. We'll switch into the Mew. And if my opponent wants to self-mill, that's fine with me. If they don't, that's fine with me too. So there's an Artisan coming down. Grabbing no Pokemon. My opponent is just playing Quad Kyogre here. And now it comes down to us. And we actually do get the Jet Energy, which is nice. So what we'll do here is Mysterious Tail. Again, grabbing the useless Battle VIP Pass. We'll use the Lost Vacuum just to get rid of the Artisan. Can use the Hisuian Heavy Ball just to grab one of our Ralts. And then I really don't want to jet energy the Charizard, so we'll jet energy the Mew and then we can retreat. So we'll use the Mysterious Tail once more, grabbing us the Ultra Ball, which is what we wanted, which means now we can Ultra Ball, battle the IP Pass, and Rolt. Grab ourselves the Charizard, evolve into the Charizard, which will allow us to accelerate more energy. So we can grab the 2, we put 1 here, and then we'll put 1 on the Mew just in case we need to pivot. We can go Level Ball, grab the Curlia. That way we can start setting up in order to use boss's orders. And now we're just going to retreat into the Charizard. We'll use Iono. Just give us 5 new cards to look at before we take a knockout here. We do get the Gallade, which means we can get boss's orders. And we'll just hit for 180. And I think we should be able to potentially 6-0 my opponent here. My opponent can possibly hit for 120, but that's 3 turns of attacking. And if they don't attack here, we're going to be able to just keep KOing. There's the Cryogonal coming down. Again, having that access to Element Chain, which can accelerate energy to Pokemon. There's the Water Energy onto Manaphy, so my opponent can hit 120. Or just use the Rain Splash, which means now what we can do, just to thin, we can use the Refinement, drawing us 2. We can go Gallade. We should have a boss's orders in the deck. So we can go Buddy Catch, boss's orders, and just start cleaning up the game from here. So we'll go boss's orders, hit for 180. And again, there's not too much my opponent can do because Kyogre can hit 120, 240. It'd be 3 turns of attacking to try and KO 1 Zard. So we'll just use Gallade next turn, take a KO on this Kyogre, and my opponent will probably be set behind. So there's the Rain Splash again coming down 420. And with this full board set up, speaking of boss, top deck it. So we can use the boss's orders, use Palpad, put boss's orders back, just in case we need it again. We can use the Burning Darkness, taking another prize card. And we should be able to pull off a clean 6-0 on my opponent. Now again, they are playing Kyogre, which can be scary, but due to Manaphy and the Terra ability on Charizard, it's not the easiest for my opponent to deal with. So if there's any deck that we could, talk about on the casual ladder, it would probably be this. Now, the one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that I don't always play casual for the videos. When I'm testing decks that I'm thoroughly considering for tournaments or they're meta relevant or super meta relevant, I'll usually play them on ranked so that way we can, play against some more competitive type decks. But if we're playing fun decks, then we're going to be playing fun decks in the casual ladder too. So, and we can use the Burning Darkness for 180, taking the final prize card, is going for the clean 6-0. And just like that, we are able to win the second game. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Thank you for all of the constant support, all the love. And if you guys, again, do want a hoodie, let me know down in the description below, and I will set them up if enough people are interested. But again, thank you for everything, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Later.